Dumelang, Sawubona, hello. Libito laka, my name is Naledi, and I'm super excited to be sharing this time with you, telling you about my story and my journey and my people. I come from a beautiful country called South Africa. Can any of you guess where South Africa might be? If you guessed the south of Africa, yes, you were right. South Africa is a beautiful, bustling country in the southernmost part of the continent Africa. It has about 53 million people and many rich, diverse histories, ethnicities, cultures, and stories. I grew up in a city in South Africa called Johannesburg. Johannesburg is known as the City of Gold, Gauteng. The reason that this name came about was because back in the Apartheid days, Gauteng was a place where many people would move to go and mine for gold. It is very much a mining town which has now developed into a very rich and historic and culturally diverse business district and cultural district. Growing up in Johannesburg, I was exposed to so many different types of people, types of stories, and types of music. Some famous music that comes from a place like Johannesburg is music such as Maskandi, Mbaqanga, Kwela, Kwaito, and House. There is some dance that some of you might have seen before or be familiar with, known as gumboot dancing. Gumboot dancing is a dance that the miners used to do when they were in the mines. They were not allowed to communicate with each other through words, so they would use their boots to make messages and send messages to each other. This was also because many of these miners came from areas outside of Johannesburg where they spoke completely different languages and different song. Now, if you were to watch a video of gumboot dancing, you would notice that gumboot dancing is quite familiar to something we know right here in America. Something known as step dancing, which has been made popular in fraternities around America. Now, the reason that these cultures tend to be so similar is because their histories can be so alike. Why do I say that? Well, I'll start by sharing the story of apartheid in South Africa. When South Africa stopped being a colony in 1910, a new group of people came into power, the British and the Boer people. Now, the Boer people are a group of people who descend from the Dutch settlers and the French Huguenot settlers. They then settled in South Africa and created this new culture which came with the language known as Afrikaans. Afrikaans was spoken in the kitchens by the slaves and the laborers of these Dutch settlers trying to communicate in languages that they knew, which were African languages, as well as remnants of the Dutch language which the settlers were speaking. Afrikaans is now one of the official 11 languages of South Africa. During the apartheid period, laws were put into place which made segregation legal in the country. The segregation stated things like white people and black people cannot go to school together, they cannot sit in buses together, they cannot even sit on the same benches together. One of the biggest things that came out of the system was the racial classifications in South Africa. You had white people, you had black people, you had colored people, which were a mix of people from all different walks of life, from the Malay, from the Khoisan people of South Africa, and even the mixed race people of South Africa. You had the Indian people, and then you had what was known as other. These groups were then put into a hierarchy of which black people were right at the bottom. Because black people were at the bottom, they were not considered citizens of the Republic of South Africa. They were considered citizens of the rural areas in the country, such as in the Eastern Cape, such as in the KwaZulu-Natal, such as in the Free State, where my people, the Sesotho people, come from. Because of this, when they moved into Johannesburg, they were put into townships. Townships such as Soweto, which is the biggest township in South Africa. In these townships, people from all different walks of life, people who spoke completely different languages, were put to live together and create community. That is where the beautiful culture of all of this music and dance came up, and people trying to find understanding with one another and to try and, find community and find the happiness and the joy in the sad lives that they were forced to live under the stringent rules of apartheid. Now, apartheid might sound familiar in that it is something that was quite familiar to the segregation that we saw happening here in the USA as well. And that is why you have things such as step and gumboot dancing being so alike, or even protest music in South Africa being so alike to jazz and protest music in America. One of the songs that came out of this apartheid time and out of this segregation was a song that my mom used to sing for me when I was younger. The song is a lullaby, which is sung in Zulu, and it's called Thula Thula. Thula means to be quiet, to hush. The lyrics of the song speak of a mother speaking to their child saying, "Be quiet, child. Father will come. He's coming back from the mines. He's coming back. There is a star leading him. He will be back with our family. Do not cry. Do not cry." The lyrics of the song, which we're going to learn together, are Thula Tu, Thula Sana, Thula Nana, which means Thula, which is an easy word. Thula means hush, hush. Thula Nana, Thula Sana, hush, hush, my child. Hush, hush, be quiet, my son. Right? Thulu baba uzofika ekuseni. Hush, because father will arrive in the morning. Be quiet, dad is coming back. Thula tu, Thula nana, Thula sana, Thulu bab uzofika ekuseni. That is the first part of the song. The next part then goes kukinkanyezi, kukinkanyezi, which means there is a star. Inkanyezi, Naledi. Those two things mean the same thing. Naledi, my name, means star in Sesotho. Inkanyezi means star in Zulu. Kukinkanyezi eholelu baba, which means there is a star calling dad home. Izomkhanyisa indlela ezekhaya. It will show him a way to go home. So, the song goes something like this. Thula tu, Thula nana, Thula sana, Thulu babu zofika ekuseni. Thula tu, Thula nana, Thula sana, Thulu babu zofika ekuseni. That's the first part. The second part then goes kukinkanyezi eholelu baba, imkhanyise lindlela ezekhaya. Again it goes kukinkanyezi eholelu baba, imkhanyise lindlela ezekhaya. So that is a lullaby that mothers would sing to their children to kind of heal them and hush them from the realities that they were living in. Now, one of my favorite things to do as a person who lives in that history and lives in that legacy, now in a born-free, democratic South Africa, is look back at the music and try and understand, what does that music mean to me today, and how do I sing it and hear it in this contemporary context? I'm going to show you something really fun that I like to play around with and explore this sort of music with. Thula thula nana, thula sana, thuluba uzofika ekuseni. Thula nana, thula sana, thuluba uzofika ekuseni. Kukinganyezi hallelujah baba, imkhanyisela indlela ezekhaya. Kukinganyezi hallelujah baba, imkhanyisela indlela ezekhaya. Thula thula, thula thula, thula thula, thula sana, thula thula, thula thula, thula thula, thula sana. Kukinganyezi hallelujah baba, imkhanyisela indlela ezekhaya. Kukinganyezi hallelujah baba, imkhanyisela indlela ezekhaya. Thula thula, thula thula thula, oh thula 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 yo, thula sana, thula thula, thula thula, thula thula, thula sana. Kukinganyezi hallelujah baba, imkhanyisela indlela ezekhaya. It's been great spending time with you all today. Thank you so much for holding space and thank you for being present with me. I'm so excited to one day sing these songs in person with you and one day tell you more about my story, my journey, and my people. My name is Naledi and I'm a singer based in Boston from Johannesburg, South Africa. And I hope that you have a really wonderful rest of the year. I hope that this video has given you some light and has helped you feel a little bit closer to other parts of the world. Talk soon. Bye. Thula thula nana, thula sana, thuluba uzofika ekuseni.